On June 18, 2025, something unprecedented happened inside the Palais Bourbon. The French National Assembly, the lower house of France's parliament, convened a formal session on unidentified aerospace phenomena. Scientists testified, military officials spoke, elected representatives listened. This wasn't a fringe event, it was institutional. France already operates GEIPAN, one of the world's oldest and most respected government UAP investigation programs, housed within the National Space Agency CNES since 1977. So the question isn't why France is investigating UAPs. The question is why its political body decided the existing technical apparatus wasn't enough. To understand what just happened, you need to understand what already existed. GEIPAN, the Study and Information Group on Unidentified Aerospace Phenomena, has been collecting, analyzing, and publicly publishing UAP case files for nearly 5 decades. It categorizes sightings from A through D, A being fully identified, D being unexplained even after rigorous investigation. As of its latest published data, roughly 3 to 4% of cases remain classified as D, genuinely anomalous. GEIPAN has always operated as a scientific body, deliberately separated from political pressure. Its reports are publicly accessible. Its methodology is peer-reviewed. This is the critical context. France didn't need a parliamentary session to start investigating. It needed one to do something GEIPAN cannot do on its own: compel testimony, allocate new funding, and apply political accountability. The June 2025 session was organized with input from multiple stakeholders. Scientists with backgrounds in aerospace and atmospheric physics were among those who addressed the assembly. Military representatives reportedly discussed sensor data and airspace security implications. According to French media coverage, the session explicitly referenced the need to assess whether GEIPAN's current mandate and resources are sufficient for the evolving UAP landscape. Key figures in the French aerospace community, including those affiliated with the 3AF's Sigma II Commission, an independent technical body that has studied UAP since 2008, are understood to have contributed to the session's framing. The Sigma II Commission has previously published detailed technical analyses of UAP cases involving radar visual correlations and transmedium characteristics. Here's what makes this significant. A technical program investigates. A political body decides. When a National Assembly convenes on a topic, it signals that elected officials believe the issue has risen to the level of governance, not just science. Compare this to the American trajectory. The U.S. had no public-facing equivalent to GEIPAN for decades. Instead, it operated classified programs, AITIP beginning around 2007, then the UAP Task Force, then ARO established in 2022.
Congressional hearings followed, driven largely by whistleblower allegations and mounting pressure from legislators like Senators Kirsten Gillibrand and Marco Rubio. France is approaching from the opposite direction. It started with transparency, a public scientific body, and is now layering political authority on top. The U.S. started with secrecy and is trying to force transparency through legislation. Both paths converge on the same problem. What do you do when the data suggests something genuinely unexplained is operating in sovereign airspace? France doesn't exist in isolation. This parliamentary session lands in a broader European context where UAP discourse is accelerating. Belgium's 1989-1990 wave remains one of the best documented mass UAP events in history, investigated by the Belgian military with radar confirmation. The United Kingdom operated the Defense Intelligence Staff's DI-55 program and the Ministry of Defense's UFO desk until 2009. Sweden's Defense Research Institute has studied ghost rockets and anomalous aerospace events since the 1940s. But none of these countries have taken the step France just took, elevating UAPs from a defense or scientific curiosity to a matter of active parliamentary deliberation. If France's session produces a formal recommendation, a committee, new funding, expanded GEIPAN authority, it could establish a template for other European nations and potentially the European Parliament itself. The value of this session depends entirely on what questions are being asked. If the Assembly simply asks GEIPAN to present its greatest hits, dramatic cases, unexplained radar tracks, it produces spectacle, not policy. The actionable questions are structural. Does GEIPAN have the sensor infrastructure to detect UAPs in real time, or is it merely a retrospective filing system? Are French military pilots reporting encounters through channels that reach GEIPAN, or does institutional friction suppress data flow? Is there classified French data that parallels what American whistleblowers like David Grusch have alleged, recovered materials, legacy programs? And perhaps most critically, is France willing to pursue multilateral data sharing with allies, or does national security compartmentalization make genuine international collaboration impossible? The American disclosure process casts a long shadow over this French session. David Grusch's July 2023 congressional testimony, alleging that the U.S. government possesses recovered non-human craft and biologics, sent shockwaves through allied intelligence communities. Whether those allegations are ultimately verified or not, they forced a question onto every NATO ally's desk. What do we know, and what have we been told? France's intelligence apparatus, the DGSE, the DRM, operates with significant autonomy.
If the National Assembly session is serious about disclosure, it will eventually need to address whether French intelligence possesses UAP-related information that has never reached GEIPAN's civilian analysts. This is where political authority becomes essential. GEIPAN can't compel the DGSE to share classified files. The National Assembly, in principle, can. The risk is real that this session becomes a one-off event, a moment of political curiosity that generates headlines but no follow-through. The U.S. has demonstrated how easily momentum stalls. The UAP Disclosure Act, championed by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in late 2023, was significantly stripped down during the National Defense Authorization Act negotiations under pressure from House leadership. Institutional resistance is not unique to any one country. But France has an advantage the U.S. lacked, an existing, functional, publicly trusted investigation body. The infrastructure is already built. What it needs is expanded authority, modern sensor networks, and the political mandate to ask uncomfortable questions of the defense and intelligence establishment. If the French National Assembly follows this session with a formal investigative committee or a legislative mandate expanding GEIPAN's powers, it will represent the most significant European institutional step on UAPs in decades. If it doesn't, it joins a growing list of symbolic gestures. The data exists. The witnesses exist. The sensor technology exists. What has always been missing in every country, on every continent, is sustained political will. France just signaled it might have it. The world should be paying very close attention to what Paris does next.